Alright, welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to set up your own localhost a PHP server so you can test out PHP files on. And then we're going to be creating a MySQL database and then having a page where you can register and it'll insert values into that SQL database. So firstly, we're going to want to download this thing called WAMP server. So I'm going to be going through everything thoroughly. So firstly, let's go to google.com and just Google WAMP and it'll be the first thing on the list, and just click that. This isn't the best screen recorder, but okay, when you get to the page, you're just going to go over here and click WAMP server 2 or whatever's there and download. When it's okay, well, after you get that downloaded, just start it up by double clicking on it, and then in your tray over here, this little WAMP server thing will pop up, and if it doesn't look like that, just left click it and then click start all services, and it'll change a couple colors and stuff, and then when it looks like that, it means it's full. So let's right click on that, or actually left click on that, and click localhost, and it'll take you to the localhost page, and it won't look anything like this because I kind of messed this up and put this and change the index page, but it'll look different. It'll list all the files and stuff. But for open this time I'm gonna go with Notepad++. So let's open that. Okay, let me close this. Alright, you're gonna click File New, and there should actually already be one here. And if you don't have Notepad++, this might be a little bit hard, so I suggest you get that. But if you do, just open it up, make a new file, go to Language, and set it to PHP. And we're going to begin with the basics, and we're going to open the PHP tags with the left arrow, the question mark, and PHP. And that's the opening tags for PHP. And then the closing tags, we'll space this out a little bit, is a question mark and then a right arrow. So those are the opening and closing tags, and then in the middle of those, I'm just gonna have a test right now, and we're just gonna say echo, and that's what writes things out. And so echo, and then two quotes, a semicolon, and then in those quotes we're gonna write test. And the semicolon just verifies that it's the end of the line. And you don't have to do this for everything, but let's just file and then save as. You want to save it in local disk, and then wherever your WAMP folder is. And mine is just in the local disk. And then you want to go to www. And then we're going to create a new folder called tutorial. Okay, I guess I already have one called that. Just call it tutorial 02. And we're going to call this index.php. You can name that whatever you want. Alright. Oops. So after the localhost part, and it has to be HTTP semicolon, or colon actually, 2 forward slashes, and then localhost, one word, and then another slash. Because if you don't have that part right there, it won't work. So let's go to our file, tutorial 01, and then forward slash. And, whoops, I named it tutorial 02, I guess. And I'll automatically take it to index, so just, if you don't, alright, you can do that if you want. And as you can see, it says test. So, I'll be focusing on the basics in different tutorials, but for this one, we're just gonna get a database up and have a register form. So left click on this little WAMP icon and then click PHP My Admin. and it'll open a new tab or a new window, and we're going to create a new database, and it's going to be called tutorial 02. And it should look like this, and there's just a little box, and you type there and then click create. Alright, so now we have this tutorial 02 thing. Now we're going to create a table. So down here, it's kind of down the page, we're going to create a table called users. Fields 2 for now, so it's going to be very simple. It's just an ID and a username. And it's not going to be very complicated, but it's just showing you how to get things inserted into here. So first field is going to be ID. Oops. Type is going to be an integer. And scroll all the way over. Now on that same field, we're going to click this primary thing, so it makes it the primary list or field in the table. And then where it says extra, you're going to select the drop down and click auto increment. This makes it go up every time something is inserted. So if you insert two things, one will be ID 1 and the second will be 2. So it just adds up for you, so you don't have to do it. Alright, next field is going to be called username, and you could make this a variable character or varchar and you could have a length for it, like a maximum length of 20, but usually I just like to go with text and then just deal with it in the error checking, which we'll get to later, so don't worry about that right now. And just click save, and it'll say table tutorial 02.users has been created. Now you have your two fields here, and under this database you have the table users. But if you try to click browse, there's nothing in it. So right now we're gonna want to connect it to the database. So let's go back to this thing, our page, and then just delete that. Now we're gonna want to type MySQL. I'm just gonna call it MySQL for now because it's kind of shorter, I guess. MySQL underscore connect, and then a left parentheses, quotes, double quotes or single quotes, doesn't matter. And in our case, we're going to type localhost and then another double quote, comma, and then for most cases you're just going to type root for now because you don't really have a server set up or anything, but if you do, just type in your username and password and the server host right there. But for now, just type right there, and I'll explain what all this is after I write this. Now after that part, after the right, you end the parentheses. After that, type or space die, and then open up and close parentheses. And then inside those parentheses, you want to type MySQL underscore error, and then another set of parentheses. So you should have something that looks like this. Okay, so basically what this does is MySQL Connect, that connects you to the database. This is the server host, and in our case it's a local host, so it just runs off of this computer only. And the root is the username, so root, that's just by default. And there's probably something that looked like this when you downloaded WAMP, and you're supposed to keep it that way, so you just click next. But since we're already past that, I don't know if we can go back to that. So hopefully you did that. Alright, right under that line, we're going to do MySQL underscore select underscore DB, and then a left open and close parentheses, and then inside those you're going to type the database that we just made called tutorial 02, or whatever you named it. And then after that, do another or die statement, and basically that'll tell you if there's an error. You really want this, it's helpful. I think it might be required, I'm not sure. I've just always used it, so you can copy and paste that down to here, or you just write it out, whatever. So save it, and